They put in an extra click before joining the chat. Like they really, really want to make sure you have your penis away.
Yeah. Well, I mean, last time. We don't want to
Last chance. Put it away. Welcome to Stretch Goal Cast, your podcast for the latest in crowdfunded video games on Kickstarter, Indiegogo, Steam Early Access, and more. My name is Clinton Ma.
Hi, I'm Justin Nichols.
And I'm Jared Wuerzburger.
All right. How you guys doing?
Doing good.
Feeling real good.
Awesome. Because today we're going to talk about Chaos Reborn. So you're probably wondering what happened to the Chaos the first time around. Well, this is a Kickstarter, and the tagline is from the creator of the original XCOM, so that right off the bat should get your attention. That guy is Julian Gollop, and he's working out of Bulgaria. That's where he's got his company set up. And so this guy is an old school game designer. Of course, he's done XCOM, the original one, back in the 90s. This was XCOM UFO Defense, I believe it's called. The new one is XCOM Enemy Unknown. Correct me if I'm wrong, but XCOM, of course, is on a lot of people's lists for one of the best games, best PC strategy games ever made. So Chaos is also a game that this guy made 10 years before XCOM. It was for the ZX or the ZX Spectrum for you American folks. I think this computer was around, I guess the Commodore 64 era, and it wasn't huge in North America, but I think in other parts of the world, the Spectrum was sort of like the Commodore of its time. And so what Chaos was and what Chaos Reborn is a turn-based strategy game. Stop me if you heard this. Stop me if you heard this before. It's a game where you play a wizard, right? And you summon creatures, and you cast spells, and it's played, I think, on a hex grid, sort of a board. And if you check out the Kickstarter page, you'll see that they've already got to the point where they have some nice graphics in there. They have a gameplay video. And the hook of the game is that there's a lot of bluffing in the mechanics. So an example that he gave, Julian, I heard him speak on a gaming podcast a couple weeks ago, and he described it as you could summon a dragon on your side, but you could also summon an illusion of a dragon. So you have options. You can do the real thing. You can do an illusion. Now the other player could call your bluff and cast a dispel on your illusion, for example. And then if they dispel the illusion of your dragon, then it's good for them and it sucks for you. But if they get it wrong, they'll suffer some sort of penalty. On the flip side, if you cast an illusion of a dragon and the other player does nothing about it, the illusion of the dragon can still harm them. So there's there's also a grave consequence for ignoring illusions, right? So there's that tricky balance, right? Aside from that, I really haven't dug too deep into the gameplay, but that is sort of like the high-level overview. And I think the fact that the creative XCOM that's heading this project, I think that I just kind of let that speak for itself, and that's sort of bad, but yeah, I let this guy's reputation precede him, so I put a lot of trust in this guy, and the campaign has 16 days left, and they're looking for $180,000, and they're almost there. They're at 111,670 as of this recording, so I just want to throw it to you guys and get your opinions on Chaos Reborn. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I think you explaining the game, you did a lot of a better job than what the video did. I didn't really get much from the video. I was kind of just like, okay, you're a wizard and you spawn monsters. Seems pretty typical. And the visuals right now, it's definitely still feels like in the somewhat prototyping, like early stages of development. So it's not, the visuals are not going to wow you. It's mainly just this guy has made some awesome games before, and Ken Levine also likes it, so that's why you should be interested. Um, yeah, they definitely lean more on that aspect, I felt, than actually talking a lot about in-depth game mechanics and what the final game is going to look like, or like showing really cool, fancy concept art, etc. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I'm definitely getting like a bit of a Magic the Gathering vibe when you mentioned basically what sounded like counter spells to me, where you can counter the other person's summons. So yeah, and I do like the idea of there being like, you know, um, risks to doing that as well. You can't just counter anything and everything, and it'll automatically counter. You kind of have to. There's a little bit more strategy to it.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's pretty neat. I don't know who the secondary guy in the video is. Is that guy is he identified? There's like the primary guy who created the original Chaos, and then there's there's the other guy who no one knows who he is.
No, it's Ken Levine. He's
Oh.
the creator of Irrational Studios. Have you ever heard of BioShock?
I never heard of those games.
Oh.
It's a joke.
I know.
Okay.
I didn't know. No, it was though, right?
I played the original BioShock, like a couple hours of it. It's fun.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
But I haven't played anything
Same
past
with me
that.
too.
Are you talking about
sorry, Dave. Blow down. Is that guy supposed to be somebody I know? Sorry.
Just a nerd that's a fan of it.
Well, that's cool. That's really cool to see somebody else in the business reflecting on intellectual property that's not their own.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's like, hey, he probably called him up and was like, would you do me a huge favor because people really like your games and you're respectable. Help me out here because he's a bit more well known than Julian. Even though Julian's made really good games, I think he's kind of been out of the light for a while, so people might not have kept track with him. Has he done anything that recently, Clint?
Well, he's worked at places like Ubisoft.
Yeah.
Making strategy games mainly. I think he did something in the Ghost Recon series.
Okay.
And that's all I know. And he's been here and there, I'm sure, but
never been like the head of a. I guess he's not. Yeah, like I haven't really seen him in the news recently, or like he's never been like the face of a project recently either.
No, but he's pretty old school. Like he's the kind of guy that Ken Levine, as he was coming up, would look up to a guy like Julian Gollop. And in 10 years' time, we'll have Justin talking up one of Ken Levine's indie projects. He was saying, growing up as a new game designer, Ken Levine was the man. And
I played 2 hours of the first BioShock game, and that's it.
Ken, I love that 2 hours.
That's Justin? Okay, I didn't know. So yeah, that's sort of like passing the torch kind of thing.
Yeah, no, that's cool.
No, this is cool. I mean, I'm really excited about the idea of the multiplayer, and there's several modes. So we've got a 2v2, which for strategy games and turn-based games is kind of not very common. I was kind of wishing there was a 2-on-2 or extended multiplayer experience with Scrolls. And like Scrolls, I feel like, if I'm understanding this correctly, you've got positions you can move these characters into, correct? There's like a grid.
Yeah.
And that makes me excited because they're mentioning that this grid could potentially change every time you play. They mentioned procedural-based grid.
Different elevations, different like obstacles or barriers.
So that's really cool. I mean, you're going into the game fresh almost every time, and really it's up to your skill, or you and your teammate's skill, or in order to accomplish the goal, which is really neat. So it seems like something that's kind of, at least to me, in the games that I've had experience with, seems very unique. There's something else I saw too. Yeah, it doesn't seem like there's a pay to play or pay to win rather. So it seems like your performance based on what they say about how you build knowledge with the spell books. You build your spell knowledge by acquiring spell books through combat or trade. So I find that pretty interesting too. So there's no really definitive way, at least that they've said, right? They're kind of trying to probably say all the right things, but
yeah. Oh, Jared, to your point, I just want to clarify. I thought it might be a stretch goal, but you mentioned options for 2v2 or something.
Mm-hmm.
They have a bullet list of features, and that's one of the things they do have planned. Multiplayer matches, 2v2, or human co-op versus AI players.
Cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And actually, if you do scroll down as well, you can see kind of the art style concepts that they're going for. They want to keep it simple, but also, like link back to what the original looked like, and it's kind of hilarious because you just see these simple little pixel characters, and then it's like we went from this to this, and it's still got like a very like simple look to it, but just so much more
defined.
Yeah.
Pretty sure that first picture is not a lion; that is a blob.
It's a pea stain.
It's a pea stain. See? Cool. Well, yeah. I'm actually very eager, and it's well on its way, right? What percentage of the goal? We're over 50%. We're probably, 65%?
Almost there, yeah. Almost there. There's like less than 70,000 away.
Well, hopefully we've persuaded folks to make the jump.
Yeah, maybe this time I'll actually put my money where my mouth is and back. I've just been spending a lot of money, and as much as I'd like to actually pledge every single thing that I think looks promising, but can't do that. But maybe this time.
I think they'll make it.
$20, so it's not too bad.
Yeah, I think they'll make it.
I think so.
But I'm sure they still like your money.
Yeah, but since they haven't quite made it yet, if this really strikes your fancy, maybe you should just check out their page and vote with your wallet and make this happen. So
shut up and take my money.
Shut up and throw some money at your monitor and that should do it. So yeah, that was Chaos Reborn on Kickstarter, and you've been watching Stretch Goal Cast. See y'all next time.
Thanks.